Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Kitchen Table Magic, where I showcase 60 card decks that are fun to play and fun to buy. I'm your host and the man with the plan, Aiden. This week, we have my personal favorite way to play Lifegain aggro in the form of Clerics. This is CCCombo. Now you may be asking yourself, isn't this just Lifegain aggro? Well, you would kind of be right. This is a shell built around the Cleric creature type, so Cleric Tribal, that uses a lot of life gain cards, such as Voice of the Blessed, Cleric of Life's Bond, and Lunarch Veteran, all of which either gain life or get bigger when you gain life. Now that's only 12 of our cards, which is a significant amount, and a lot of the time these are the cards that are really going to help you win the game. But if you're looking for the interesting parts, you only have to look under the combo section. Here we have our two key cards in the deck, the first being Aura, Skyclave Hierophant, 4 mana 3/3 with lifelink, and importantly, whenever it or another cleric that we control dies, return target cleric card with lesser converted mana cost from our graveyard to the battlefield. So this board wipe protection, sacrifice value potentially, which is how we're using it with Pyre of Heroes, which is a 2-mana artifact that says, pay 2 and tap it and sack a creature to search your library for a creature card that shares a type with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus that creature's converted mana cost. Similar to Birthing Pod, if you've played with that card, but in colorless. So Pyre of Heroes and Aura work together to basically allow you to cycle your clerics, and if they die, just makes it so that you can cycle them even faster. What we really want to do is get up to 4 mana, play an Aura, play a Pyre of Heroes, and activate it, sacrificing something maybe with 2 mana value, like a Voice of the Blessed or Clerics of Life's Bond if they can't grow any farther, using that to get a Lunarch Veteran out of the graveyard and the Pyre of Heroes to search for any of our 3 drops. Answers, either good clerics for value or our small little category here of 5 fun ofs. These cards are only in here for those edge cases where these cards would be very good. Because we have Pyre of Heroes, which lets you search, these can be tutored for. Dawnbringer Cleric, enchantment removal, life gain, graveyard hate, kind of a great package all in one, very tutorable off of a Lunarch Veteran. Ellis Ilkor, also tutorable off the Lunarch Veteran, gives you some more board wipe protection and a little bit of that extra life gain triggers for when creatures enter. Selfless Spirit, board wipe protection, gives indestructible. Sin Collector exiles an instant or sorcery from your opponent's hand, can be very good against combo or control. And Metropolis Reformer gives you hexproof, which can be very, very useful in certain matchups. Besides that, we've got 12 clerics, which are just good value. Luminarch Aspirate is a really good one. Tabarax is an interesting choice. I'm not entirely sold on him, but if you can get Tabarax out along with the Aura and Pyre of Heroes combo, then whenever you sacrifice a cleric to pull more clerics out of your deck or the graveyard, Tabarax not only gets a counter, but will draw you a card at the cost of 1 life, but we're gaining a decent amount of life. I did actually do my due diligence this time, and we have a full working mana base here. Of course, when I play on Arena, the mana base is all over the place just with whatever cards that I have, but if you're looking to build this deck, the lands will work out. And we're going to go ahead and go over the sideboard and some other optional cards at the very end, so stick around. But for now, enjoy the games, and I'll see you in the outro. So we've got our mana, we've got a Clerics of Life's Bond, and 2 Voice of the Blessed along with a Pyre of Heroes. We'll keep that. What do we really need right now? Our opponent to not have removal. That's what we need. A little removal is okay as a treat, but too much. I mean, we might be able to overcome. 2 Clerics of Life's Bond, and then into 2 Voice of the Blessed. That's hard. Hard to beat. Sin Collector. I don't think I run that out. Don't know if it's good or not yet. So let's just be aggro. We are in the end an aggro deck, so we're gonna have to hit him eventually. Okay, that's scary. So this is gonna give it mobilize 4. So whenever it attacks, it's gonna make 4 tapped and attacking 1/1 tokens. Wow. That is a absolutely brutal alchemy card. Okay. Oh, I'd love to play this Voice of the Blessed, but if I do, I can't play this Lunarch Veteran. Is there something we can Pyre of Heroes for right now that would really help? Yes, so I'm going to play this and then I'll play the Veteran. We'll just set up for a really good Voice of the Blessed turn, hopefully draw another land, then we can also activate our Pyre of Heroes. Let's get in. This takes them down to 9, so they might actually not be able to afford to attack with this guy to Souls. Plus, it's only... oh. 16 damage? And they're gonna gain a bunch of life? Oh my god. Who thought this card was okay? Wow. Just watch. This is... oh my god. I don't know what to do against this. Even if I go and tutor up my enchantment removal, that'll only get rid of one of them. And these permanently have mobilize. Oh my god. Okay. Let's think. Is there a way we can win here somehow? So I get 3 life, but that's only 1 counter on each Cleric of Life's bond. Can I even play enough to survive here? If I sack my Lunarch Veteran and get a enchantment destruction, do I really care? Yes, I do. Is it worth keeping my Clerics back? Yeah. We're gonna have to figure out how to block or do something. I'm really not sure what we do. Well, let's go ahead and get our Dawnbringer Cleric, at least kill one of these. And then we'll gain a little bit of life, which we very much need. Oh man. Esper Sentinel too. They're just good 1-drops with Wasteland's Guidance, as far as I've seen, and it's working like horrendously. Oh my god. Wow. We don't survive this. At all. Oh my god. Well, we'll block what we can. Okay, I normally don't mind alchemy cards, but what were they thinking? Oh my god! Missing our lands. I will say, land is something you very much need to be right in this deck. I'm gonna put the Demon's Disciple away for now. I don't know if removal will be good. Although I find that more often the people with blue avatars and blue sleeves are playing mono red, or I guess mono white aggro. We'll see. Okay, I mean at least they're playing the right colors. It's definitely a counterspell or something like that, but make them have it. Might as well get it out of them. Oh, okay, that's not as bad as it could have been. Reprieve. I go back and forth on if I think Reprieve is a good card or not. I think the real answer is sometimes. Like if you're playing something that just needs a couple of turns sometimes, then Reprieve is good, but it's not a counterspell by any means. Like I still have all my cards. You just drew an extra card. Just kind of slows everything down a little bit. Okay. Well, that's good, because we can resolve something now. They might have exile base removal, so I'm not going to run Aura out. I could double Voice of the Blessed, but we don't have a way to gain life right now. And I really want to know what's in their hands so I can make better decisions. Oh, of course. Protection from everything. So I can't target with my Elite Spellbinder. Well, at least it's a 3-1 threat. Definitely a misplay. Every time I play against the One Ring, I forget that it's not just damage. Expressive Iteration. Now that is a good card. Very good card selection. Giving you basically 2 cards for 2 out of 3 cards for 2 mana. Pretty good. Verge, not good here. Oh no, I do have a Plains, so it's just a free tap land. Or a free dual land. Do I play Aura now? Or do I double Voice of the Blessed and hope that... Yeah, I'm gonna double Voice of the Blessed and actually hope that they counter something. Or kill things to put them into the graveyard. Okay, they're gonna bounce it back to my hand. They really don't want to with the Spellbinder, because the good thing about it is the ETB. I wonder if we're gonna be able to punish their One Ring. Probably not. They're probably gonna play another one, and then Legend Rule it. If not now, then soon. Okay, Cleric in the graveyard. That means we can play Aura. There are times where you play Aura even without, but this is not one of them. Oh. I don't know if you could see that, but I threw Jade's ball for her and it hit her. Because I wasn't really looking. Okay. Cleric. Do I Aura into Voice of the Blessed, or do I Spellbinder? Let's Spellbinder. I actually don't know that Aura is the play right now. I guess I'm worried about a board wipe, but Spellbinder will help. Okay, I can play it again. I guess I played around Reprieve without knowing it. Okay, what do we have? Okay, anything bad in the graveyard? No? I'm just gonna take that to Fairy. Decks like these, they really need something like a Planeswalker to get going. I mean, they have the One Ring already, but at least that hurts them. This probably takes them off of playing Teferi for a while. And we have enough mana, we can pay for Quench. Exile. Base removal. You know, actually could be worse. I will say. Could definitely be worse. So, I can Voice of the Blessed Spellbinder, but I'm gonna Spellbinder first. Because I would really like to dodge a Quench or something like that. And then I get to look at their hand too. Okay. Killing it is fine. I've got an Aura on deck, so... Okay. Let's get rid of the second Divine Purge, and then we'll play Voice of the Blessed. Their Lightning Helixes are helping against their One Ring damage, but they're starting to take quite a lot, unless they can find another one. Is usually what happens. They've got 6 mana. Okay. 4. They're holding everything open. Do we go for Aura? Yeah, I think so. Even into 4 mana. Do I try for... Yeah, you know what? Let's try for Spellbinder. Let's be protective of the Aura. I really want it to resolve. I don't want it to get countered. Okay. Reprieve. And then let's put out the Luminarch. They can counter it with Change the Equation if they want. I'm okay with that. Okay. Okay. They're not going to be able to keep doing the One Ring forever. Oh. Very. Okay.
You know what? I'm not.
So they're going to have 3 mana here? 4. Okay. Not great. But they're taking 5. This would be a time where Ellis Ilcor would be good. Start training them when we lose our clerics. Okay, so they have 3 mana. They did have to pay 1 for the One Ring because we are not playing in paper, so we have the alchemy version. But I bet they're not a fan of that for alchemy, but clearly they like alchemy in general with how many different alchemy cards we've seen. Well, really, I guess really just Divine Purge. So then the question is, do I aura and do nothing? I guess I can aura, then Voice of the Blessed. Voice of the Blessed dying doesn't do anything for me, but aura dying does. I think we need to go for it. We need to try to start double spelling, just in general. Get more stuff out there. Okay, aura resolved. So let's try Voice of the Blessed. They might have whatever counterspell it was they just had. Change the equation, which is an interesting one. Yep, that's fine. Let's see if they tuck it. I mean, they may need to start drawing here. They're at 4. Their One Ring only does so much. Oh, okay. Tucking their own One Ring. See if they can do anything about aura. They're gonna kill it, which I don't know if they realized can bring back a Spellbinder. Let's see if they have Graveyard Hate. If not, we're taking a look at that hand. I guess let's take the Snapcaster Mage. I mean, that means they're gonna be able to kill my Spellbinder. Unless I do the other one. Let's go ahead and do that. See what we get here. They can Archmage's Charm. I'm hoping that no, they'll still have enough. Well, maybe they're afraid of the... Do I just go face? Do we need to, like, win right here? Yeah, but Teferi is too much. It doesn't matter. If they're smart, they're going to Snapcaster Mage into the Lightning Helix. Yeah. And so they're going to kill the Spellbinder. Just play that on Cleric. There's really no point in holding it. We don't have landfall triggers. I guess it would juke to our opponent that we might have something. Okay, they're drawing. Damn, they've gone all the way back up to 10. And they're going to draw their One Ring again. It's looking pretty bad, guys. Let's see what we draw here. So next turn they play the One Ring, they start drawing all their cards again. Yeah, no, I think we can wait and try to see if they're gonna mill themselves out, but we can even see Hall of the Storm Giants and Castle Ardenvale, both of which can be win cons on their own, so yep. I think that's it for this one. Good game. Unclaimed Territory, Voice of the Blessed. This is a pretty good hand. Ooh. Let's start with the Plains. Hide our Cleric as much as possible. Well, it's not going to be for very long. I bet you they have, yep. However, non-creature, non-land, we got all creatures, sorry to tell you. And doesn't matter anymore, so let's name our Clerics and get going. Next turn, I'm probably going to Inspiring Overseer to draw a card. I suppose it depends on what they do. I may use this on a Bandit's Talent if they play that, but we'll see. Okay, making me discard a card. I'm going to discard the second Voice of the Blessed. I don't care about it that much. Now I wish I'd discarded a land. Well, let's go Cleric again. And in this case, Inspiring Overseer and Dawnbringer Cleric kind of do the same thing. Trigger Voice of the Blessed. Okay. If we're discarding another card, we're definitely discarding a land. Probably the Caves of Koilos here. We've got all of our colors we would need from Unclaimed Territory, so we're not really worried about needing black. I said we're not really worried about needing black. Let's see what this does. Dawn Ring or Cleric. I'm just going to Cure Wounds to gain life. Okay, so they're going to destroy that. So I guess we'll get rid of their creature. I'm okay with losing stuff early in the game as long as we draw our aura. Ooh, Liliana.
I'll have this fight finished before brunch.
I mean, it's not very good in this spot. Especially if I get rid of the Cleric. Unless they have a 1-mana removal spell, but you should really play that first. You know what? Do I think they're big braining me? No. I think they would have used a 1-mana removal spell first, just to force me to sacrifice the right one. I think they just, yep, okay. Okay. And we have Iganjo to, I guess, save a creature if we need to. I don't really care about Liliana at that point, but get those planeswalkers off the battlefield as soon as you can. At least the annoying ones. Okay, that's kind of annoying. I haven't done anything to show them graveyard, so... Ooh. Oh. I love this card. I've never been able to make it work enough, except when your opponent plays a lot of 1 toughness creatures, which is exactly what happened. That's going to be a 2-for-1 removal spell. Just right there. And our Iganjo is just dead right now. Yep, they can kill the Overseer. Well, at least our graveyard's filling up again. Okay. So that can kind of help. I can at least use that with Voice of the Blessed to get rid of the children. 4 damage, yeah. So if they block here... Should have let the damage... Oh, no. Yeah, that was right. I was gonna say I should have let the damage go through first. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, because then it wouldn't have been an attacking or blocking creature, so I couldn't have used a Iganjo. Oh, there goes my graveyard again. This just incidental graveyard hate is kind of big annoying. Our opponent doesn't even know why it's annoying. That's another pretty good thing. If you have to sacrifice your veteran, you know, you can cast it on the backside. Ooh.
This is more enjoyable than slaying demons.
Okay. Takanuma is something. What do we want back? We've got 2 mana. I'll take a Cleric of Life Spawned. We kind of have to start beating this Liliana. It's not going to work very well, but we have to try. I don't have any cards in hand, so that's just a blocker. They're going to make a zombie. So I'll play the Phantom, which is a Cleric, fortunately. So Cleric of Life Spawn gains life. Ooh, that's big. Okay. Do I play this? No, because when this dies, I get it for free. Let's force them to block. And they're definitely going to. They might even block with both just to draw 2 cards off of Liliana. I would definitely not blame them for that. If they just block with the Informant, I will play the... Oh! I'm gonna play this, because Aura has lifelink, so I'm hoping that that can be our life gain. Okay. Aura turning it around. This is why it's in the deck. I get to choose? No. With this, they can now start double blocking to kill my stuff again.
You've reached an undead end.
Which is unfortunate. Hopefully I can gain some life here. I mean, Aura dying just gets back, like an Elite Spellbinder or Demon's Disciple. a land here is not good. That's not what we wanted. Well, let's just swing at Liliana, see what happens. Okay, they're double blocking the aura, which I think I'm okay with. This brings our Cleric up to a 4/4, and if I do Demon's Disciple, that kills the zombie, but Elite Spellbinder can just fly over it anyways, and this lets me peek at their hand. Ooh, okay. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. They can now plus Liliana, then play the new Liliana and minus it. Phyrexian Obliterator. Okay.
Don't speak ill
And not a
of the
good
undead.
okay. I mean, that's a good card, but this is not right now. I mean, make them do it, I guess. And then they're gonna wipe our board.
Oh, well, this was unpleasant.
Hit us for 9.
This isn't your. I am the master here.
They're gonna draw 2 cards from this. Man, Liliana Dreadhorde General is a card.
You get used to the
Capital C card. Well, let's just keep going, see what happens. We're gonna be taking the Obliterator hits for a long time, but...
Time to wake up and smell the decay.
what is it that I'm... Okay, that's a start. That's a flyer and gains us some life and draws us a card. So... Demon's Disciple... I'm actually gonna hold this. Honestly, making them sacrifice something right now is not very good. I just have to hope that... What? Oh, well, there goes my card. I was hoping to use it with my Cleric of Life Spawn,
I do
but...
quite enjoy necromancy.
Oof. Down to 19. Well, that's a start. That does mean that now my Cleric is a double block to kill it, or I can wait a turn. I'm not gonna... No, I don't think there's a better time to attack here. Yeah, we gotta kill Liliana. Yeah.
I hope you wash your hands first.
And then... Man, between these two Lilianas, they've drawn so many
Give
cards.
me strength.
They're already almost halfway through their deck. I mean, so are we. Somehow. I guess Takenuma. Yeah,
Time to
Takenuma.
get my hands dirty.
Well, I have to keep the Overseer. Might not matter, they might have another one. Removal spell, that is. Okay, we can only take 3 more hits from the Obliterator. Ugh, a land. Okay. We just gotta keep smacking Lily.
Not today, Death.
At least next turn she's dead from flying, but... Oof. Wow, it's gotten so dark in here. Oh, and she's not dead. Okay, so we're dead on board next turn. And we draw a land. Alright, good game, opponent. Just couldn't beat the Liliana. The chump blockers were too powerful. And wow, did it get dark in here. I don't think we've won a single game with this deck since I started recording again. I actually had about 2 hours of gameplay with some really fun matches, really interesting back and forth with this deck. And then I realized that my microphone wasn't on the whole time. So that was a huge waste and lost a lot of really good games there, but it is what it is. Chance to play more Magic, I guess. We've got our colors here. Cleric of Life's Bond into Taparax, hopefully into Aura. Let's start with Swamp. Throw him off as much as possible. And it looks like our opponent is playing the Swamp. The Eldrazi Swamp, specifically. Oh. I've always thought this was very Eldrazi of a card. You know, there are kind of those Eldrazi that are kind of people that have stuff coming out of them. This feels very similar to me. Okay, I'm going to play Taparax early. They're black, and they've already shown us what is basically a removal spell. I will trade, though, because of Taparax. I'll take that +1 counter and a card. Bloodthirsty Aerialist, okay. I'm not going to block here. Metropolis Reformer. I don't know that this is the matchup specifically that I'm thinking of for this card. But it is good. I don't think it's better than putting down another Cleric and gaining more life later on. Well, they're all Clerics. I mean Cleric of Life's Bond. I can't just say Cleric with this deck, because that's almost every card. The life gain on this is unfortunate, but now I can block with Cleric of Life's Bond. Need a name for this guy. Cordial Vampire. When this or another creature dies on each vampire. That's unfortunate. I'm still blocking. Do want that life and that card. Alright. Land. Ooh. They've shown me almost no removal. I think I play Aura. We didn't come here to be a Lifegain aggro deck. We came here to be a Lifegain aggro deck with Aura combo. Taparax is kind of a combo too with it. So if we draw Hero's Pyre here, that's very good. Marauding Blight Priest, scary card. Also a Cleric. Thought about it for this deck. I just didn't want to lean that much into life gain. Otherwise I would have put it in. Are they going to kill Aura? I'll just get a Cleric of Life's Bond back and put more counters. And Taparax gets one. Okay, they're just making Aura smaller. Which is interesting. I guess they would have killed him if they had it. Okay. Now things get very interesting. So I am going to play... I think I'll play the Ilkor for an extra source of life gain. And then I'm going to play the Aspirant. And put some counters probably on Aura, honestly. Let's swing in for 6. Can I take 6 in the air here from the Aerialist? Yeah, I'm not blocking with my Taparax anyways. Okay, they take it down to 10. We're getting a little bit low. Paragon Besiege. Penragon Besieged. At the beginning of your end step, choose creature's leaf toughness. It actually gets -1/-1. Well, that's actually okay. When this creature or another creature. Oh, okay. So they're just gonna get all sorts of stuff from me. But I'm gonna gain a lot of life, so we'll see how that works out for him. Now, do I play a Voice of the Blessed or a Voice of the Blessed? This guy is gonna get real big real quick here. Because that's 3 life gain triggers every turn we play Cleric, so. Okay. I'm gonna go like that. They have to block something here. Actually, I'm gonna go all in because they've got to do some blocking here. That doesn't save you. That does save you, but they lose that, and I can get back a Cleric of Life's Bond. They've got a big vampire, but we're gaining a lot of life, and our Voice of the Blessed now has flying. And let's draw a card. Oh, and we've got the land drop. Unfortunately, this black is coming back to bite us with Voice of the Blessed, but I'm kind of okay with that. If they manage to get this big enough... If they manage to get this big enough to kill us, we can block. Oh, and looks like our opponent couldn't find the line. We've got our colors, bunch of clerics, and we have one piece of the combo, so we'll keep. Mostly we really just want land and clerics, which is easy to get. You can end up with too many 3-drops in hand. Sin Collector is not great, potentially. It's either really good or really bad. Our opponent's first play here is going to tell us more. We can also get more information with the Spellbinder, which is nice, but we'll see. So the question is, do I Caves of Koilos? The only way that's the right play is if we draw the double white spirit cleric, but I would still play Ilkor first. So we'll play that, we'll play the Verge, Ellis Ilkor. The mana base is different for the paper version, so don't worry too much right now about these decisions. They're more just, what's the optimal play for this version of the deck? Well, that was lucky. I mean, we do know, as soon as they play Delver of Secrets, you know Sin Collector is going to be great. Ooh, and a Slick Shot Show Off? What is this, standard? Okay. Do I Tabarax? No, let's Sin Collector right away. I want to get any Monstrous Rages out of here. Oh. That's not great. For them. Finding really bad stuff off of Sin Collector is not at all bad for me. They will be able to double spell for Ledger Shredder, which cuts off some of our attacking, but I think we're gonna be okay. Emphasis on think here. They sequenced that wrong. They should have Ledger Shredder into Consider, so they could have connived. So if they play the Shredder here, they're missing out on a connive trigger. Oh, they've got another show off. Ooh. That's not great. I'm gonna Pyre of Heroes and sack my Sin Collector into Aura. They don't seem to have a lot of removal. And Aura, Illis Elcor, and Pyre of Heroes. It's a pretty good combo, especially with Tabarax. That means anything they kill is going to do a bunch of good things for us. Spellbinder is actually good in this matchup. See, they should have played the Ledger Shredder and then the Show Off. That would have gotten them the counter. So they're missing out here, but they might have double instant and sorcery here, which... Does that kill us? Yeah, because both these become 5/2s, and that's a 3/3, that's 13, exactly. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately nothing to get back with that. Okay, and then here they come. Here they come, killing us again. So... Aura gains us life, great. We could Cleric of Life's Bond, sacrifice Aura to get a Sin Collector, but that doesn't help us that much. Let's attack with Aura first off. They've got flyers, so this is just life gain. And then I'll Elite Spellbinder. Hopefully they have something that's expensive in their hand. Whenever you cast a spell during your turn other than your first spell, make a 2/2. And whenever a bunch of zombie stuff. Okay, I see you, Geralf. That's an interesting card, and it's not alchemy or anything? Okay. So, Show Off is more potential damage, but right now the Aberration is more, so I'm gonna go with that. Just to try to save my life total, I think we're at that point. Plus, getting the Ilkor back is not bad at all. Okay, we can double Cleric of Life's Bond, gain a bunch of life. How much life do we gain? 1 from Ilkor, 2, 3, 6, up to 10. We're still dead to double Show Off, but are we dead anyways? 7, no. Yeah, we're still dead to a double spell. We're still dead to a double spell. So do I double... What can I get from Ilkor if I sacrifice it? I'm gonna Elite Spellbinder, I think. Just for the... They don't have any cards in hand, but I think the blocker is better in this situation. I'm hoping this can stop them from attacking entirely. Yeah, I also did my math wrong. So we're not dead now, even if they double spell. It's close, but we're not. Yeah, and now they can't attack. They could have attacked if we'd done the clerics. Okay, that's huge. So let's Tabarax. Gain the life. I'm gonna start swinging. They actually have to block here. Yeah. They're still taking 5. And then when that dies, it does nothing except they lose life. We're gonna draw that card. Good card. So do I sack... Yeah. I'm gonna sack the Ilkor. We're gonna pay 1 life, draw a card. Feeling pretty good here. I'm gonna Metropolis Reformer. This is a matchup where this is good. Plus, whenever it's dealt damage, I gain that much life. So that means it's a very, very good blocker. Looks like too good for our opponent. Welcome to the part of the video where I talk about what went well and went bad with the deck, otherwise known as the outro. So, this deck is fun. I say that with a hint of trepidation only because I don't think this deck is particularly amazing in one-on-one, especially on Arena, because everyone on Arena is prepared for aggro. You either have a deck that can be aggro or you lose. So that means that only having 12 pieces of this Lifegain aggro just means that a lot of it dies. You did see games, however, where we were able to pull it through, and a lot of it is thanks to this Aura Pyre Heroes combo. It makes some matchups that you normally can't win completely winnable, which is really nice, and it lets you play these fun-ups, which you can kind of 2 for 4 if you really need it. I will say I think this is definitely better in a vacuum. So if you're playing against someone who's never played against you before, it's less likely at least if you're playing in person, from my experience, that they're going to have the right answers for aggro all the time. And your deck, this deck isn't gross. This deck isn't, mono white Lifegain or mono red aggro. That's just absurd and very tedious. It actually has some thinking. Like, when you hire heroes, you've got to figure out what card to search for, and even with Aura, about what to return, and it kind of adds this extra element that, in my opinion, makes the deck really fun. Additionally, if you're playing, like I often do in multiplayer, these fun-ups can be tweaked to better suit what you know your table does. So, in multiplayer, Sin Collector might not be as good, but Metropolis Reformer could completely shut down combos, like, hugely. Even the Sanguine Bond Exquisite Blood combo. I always forget those names. Terrible names. Metropolis Reformer stops that from being a problem. Over here in the sideboard, we have some options. These are basically cards you can swap out for other cards. I don't know if they're better or not. I've tried them in a couple previous iterations of the deck, especially in those ones that I didn't have my mic on, so you're never going to see, and they were good. I like the picks that I have now, but they are definitely tailored towards the historic or pioneer, what used to be explorer ladder. So these are going to be a little different. If you're buying this deck, I would recommend really thinking about what your table wants. Maybe just ordering 3 copies of some of these so that you can find the one that works the best. Anointed Peacekeeper swaps out for Spellbinder. Archfiend's Vessel, just a good one. Maybe swap for Lunarch Veteran or add more if you find your curve is a little too high. Banisher Priest, this goes for Demon's Disciple, lets you exile things instead of forcing you to sacrifice them. I like the opportunities for combos with Demon's Disciple and Aura with returning a bunch of things. Clavileño, First of the Blessed, I think would be really good in this deck. I didn't play with it, simply because I couldn't find a spot for it, but let me know in the comments if you really want to see me play with this card. Maybe I'll craft a couple extra and try the deck again. I think it would be very good in this deck. Dark Supplicant and the Scion of Darkness is kind of an interesting cleric package. They let you tap and sack 3 clerics to search for and put the Scion of Darkness onto the battlefield. So that's kind of an interesting combo there if you want to run that more aspirants. Silverquill Silencer is a fun card. I love this card, however, every time I played it, it just wasn't good enough. But I would definitely recommend trying it in paper. Very much so, especially for that salt factor, because it's just a little bit annoying. Especially if you happen to be playing against opponents that have the same card in their deck. Silencer can potentially affect more than one opponent. Wizened Mentor is just an extra sideboard card I was thinking of. I'm going to go really quick over the considering cards. These are cards that I thought of for the deck and were either too expensive, most of the time too expensive, or just didn't quite work well enough for what I think the deck is going for. Edgewalker makes all your clerics cost colored mana less, almost like a bard class for clerics. I would totally do this if they had this on Arena. I would have an Edgewalker deck with Silverquill Silencer for free, Archfiend's Vessel for free, just making everything cost a lot less. That would be a very, very fun deck. And if they ever put this card on Arena, you can be sure that I'm playing it. Essence Channeler is a very, very slightly better Voice of the Blessed in this case. It's up in the air as to which one of these you want to do if you end up doing the much cheaper Voice of the Blessed. That's about half the price. Essence Channeler, I think, is better just because of when it dies, you get to keep the counters on something else, which is incredible. Jezreen Corrupted Bishop, I'm not going to go over it. This is a meme. Throw it in there, especially in a multiplayer game, as one of your fun-ofs. Priest of Forgotten Gods, you could definitely work the deck around this, tapping it, sacrificing creatures to make other people lose 2 life, sack creatures, and you get mana and draw. I would go up on the 1-drops, particularly Archfiend's Vessel, if you're going for this kind of more sacrifice-based approach, but it's definitely viable. Righteous Valkyrie should be in the deck. If you're crazy and have like a playset of these, throw them in. You will just gain ridiculous amounts of life all the time with how many clerics you have entering, and it's insane with the Aura combo. It's just also a $5 card at minimum, as you can see here. So I didn't put it in because frankly I hate this card. Soul Warden, expensive card, $3 for a 1-drop, but good, especially in multiplayer, just gains you a bunch of life. I also hate this card, so I couldn't bring myself to justify the money, even though it's probably worth it if you play this deck, the budget version. Absolutely love it and want to upgrade it. Starscape Cleric is an interesting one. This is a newer one. It's definitely the whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life, leading into the life gain. But if you have Soul Warden and Righteous Valkyrie, throw this in and you're going to win a lot of games on the spot. And that's the deck. I hope you had as much fun watching it as I had playing with it. I absolutely love this weird take on aggro decks, as you can probably tell by the fact that most of my last videos have been aggro videos, and the video I have coming out next week is actually another fun, quirky, thinky aggro deck. So if you enjoy, leave me a comment, leave me a like, let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you next time. Bye!